Welcome back to Beginner Miniatures. Today I'm painting Angela from Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've already cleaned her up and primed her gray. Here I'm beginning by going over her skirt with a dark gray as a base tone. Then for my highlights, I just went over it with increasing brighter shades of gray till I worked my way up to pure white, covering smaller and smaller areas. Then I base coated all of the skin with a medium flesh tone. Then I painted in the eyes with some pure white. After that I came in with some black and I drew the little symbol she has around her eyes. I didn't get it on camera because I really took my time and was as careful as I could, but I showed it painted up after I finished it right here. So I'm really happy with how these came out. Then I started to highlight up the skin, just all of the upward facing surfaces that would catch more light. I started to add increasing amounts of white and covered smaller and smaller areas, highlighting them up. And here's pass 2 going over it with, again, just a brighter tone covering a smaller area. And then again, the same thing, lighter tone, smaller area, really getting my highlights nice and sharp. And I'm spending a lot of time on the face, making sure I'm catching all of the sharp facial details to draw the eye to them. Then I base coated all of the black areas. I did a lot of this off camera just to make it easier on myself. Then I highlighted all of the upward facing parts of all of the black with a dark gray to bring it some highlight. Then I base coated her hair with a brownish orange. And then with the brighter orange, I went over all of the elevated parts to start highlighting up her hair. And then with the final pass of a really bright orange just to really bring some nice highlights to it. Then I mixed up a kind of bronzy gold color and I went over all of her gold armor with this. Then I moved on to a dark brown and base coated her leather belt with it. And then I gave the belt some scratchy highlights with some cork brown. Then I took some lead belcher and base coated all of the metal on her belt, as well as all of the other metal that was left, like her sword blades and weapon blade and the little arm guards she has in between her golden armor. Then I took Army Painter Strong Tone wash, which is a brown wash, and I went over all of her gold armor with it to darken all of the creases. Then I took some black wash, which was Dark Tone Wash by Army Painter, and I went over all of the silver metallics with it. Then I did some edge highlighting to the living ribbons she had just to make them look a little sharper on the edges. Then it was time for all of the X's and O's she has on her living ribbon. I did this by thinning down some red paint for the X's, filling them in and then wiping off any excess, and then I did the same thing but I used an orange for the O's. Then to highlight up my armor, I went back to the base color of it and went over all of the areas which weren't in creases, so that way they would catch more light, so it would look nice and shiny. Then I highlighted all of my silver metallics with some silver, really making sure I caught the edges of the weapons to make them look sharp. Then I base coated the ground on the base with a medium gray. And I hit it with a white dry brush to catch all of the raised details. And then I base coated the metal bit of all the raised bumps before the crosswalk with some bronze. And then I went ahead and painted the entire base room black right here. And then I went across the entire base with a black wash. And then finally I took some clear orange to add some rust to the little crosswalk metal bit. And after a layer of dull coat, she's done. I'm really happy with how she turned out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.